Good afternoon. So far, I've talked about ways that we can understand and explain better the truth, the spiritual truth that is taught in the Bible, and ways to explain to others how figurative language works and how not all language can be used just literally, and that there's more than meets the eye, that there's a reality behind appearances. Today I want to talk about how this reality plays out in our relationships, and as I explained, when we see another person, we're actually seeing evidence of mind, will, and emotion. This is what we recognize as personality. This is how we form an image in our mind, or form an idea of the other person's character. I also want to talk today about redemptive relationships. How it is that when we interact with other people, we can do it in a way that is redemptive. What do I mean by redemptive? Well, redemptive is taking something that is lost or broken, perhaps no longer useful, and taking it and restoring it. So redemption recognizes the value in things that are not currently as they should be and brings out the best in that. And so the ultimate redemption is when God takes us where we are in our sinful condition, where the image of God is marred, it's not reflected as it should be, as He intended it to be. It's clouded by our sinful and rebellious choices, and God restores that image of Himself through the work of Jesus Christ. But how do relationships allow redemption to take place? And how can certain conversations be redemptive? I'd like to suggest that when we interact with other people and we recognize, we acknowledge that something of the glory of God, because man is made in God's image, we recognize the goodness, the inherent value of another person, we recognize their personality, the mind, the will, and the emotions, and in that we call forth that which God has placed in them. And as a part of this redemptive relationship, we also suggest that there is a way to be set free from the things that hold us back. That is, the things that we see enslaving. God says that we were slaves to sin, that we were enslaved by sinful habits, that in fact when we try to be in control of our own lives, we're not in control at all, that there's something else. The enemy of God is taking hold of us to steal and kill and destroy. And we cannot have the life that God wants us to have, the life that Jesus said was the abundant life, or life to the full. So redemptive relationships seek to restore this fullness of life by recognizing all that is there that reflects the glory of God, and also recognizing that which prevents or inhibits the glory of God, that which is sin, which would need to be removed by forgiveness, by grace, and by receiving the gift that God has for us of new life. And when I talked about figurative language, one of the examples I gave was when Jesus is talking to Nicodemus in John chapter 3 and says, "You must be born again to enter the kingdom of heaven." And the kingdom of heaven, He's describing everything that is as God perfectly created it, that which is not marred by sin. And to enter the kingdom of heaven, we have to be born again and have this new life, this spirit life. So these are things that speak of redemption. These are things that move us in our relationships and in our conversations towards the glory of God, towards reflecting that image of God, towards recognizing the value of other people as being made in the image of God. And the goal, as described in 2 Corinthians, as being changed from glory to glory. And that glory is the same glory that was revealed in Jesus Christ, where John says that we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. I'll talk more about grace and truth next time. Thank you for being with us.